We're an American band. We're coming to your town. We'll have your party down. We're an American band.
Stand for
Arthur John.
Arthur John. Hey, you're on Facebook.
Applejack.
Applejack.
Okay, this is Terry with CU Bands and Fans, and I am here today with Renegade. Renegade is a band that's been in Champaign-Urbana for how many years, Ken?
25 years this year.
And this year is your last year
Yes,
of being with the band. Okay, so tell us a little bit about when you started Renegade, Ken.
Let's see.
Way back then.
From what I can remember. Actually, myself and co-founder of the band, Tim Breen, we met in a,
Dark.
as we put it, yeah, as we put it, it was a satanic basement to audition for another band, and
That explains a lot.
yeah, it does, and
Which means absolutely nothing.
exactly. But now, when me and Tim, we both kind of had the same idea that was not going to happen, and we exchanged phone numbers, and about 6 months or so later, maybe not quite that long, but we hooked up and started working on putting Renegade together.
Where'd the name Renegade come from? How'd that come?
Renegade actually came from a Charlie Daniels album, back when people actually bought albums. And
Back in the day.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the Tim McGraw song.
Right. And it was just, you know, it kind of fit what we would, you know, what we were looking to do. So, yeah.
Southern rock gives you an idea of what
Yeah.
it is.
Outlaw was taken already. Outlaw's them.
Yeah.
Kind of what.
Yeah, I mean, we threw around a few names, but nothing really, and we just kept going back to Renegade. So I was like, okay, that's what, you know.
So that's what you've always stuck with?
Yeah.
You've never changed it from Renegade once you named it Renegade?
No. We haven't, but
Your band members have
no.
changed?
The name, we've never altered it, but the press has, you know,
Renegades.
Club owners.
Renegades,
The Renegades.
the Renegades, the Renegade band. That's like people, we are Renegade.
Yeah,
That's
there
it.
was a bunch of old country guys, and I don't remember, I think in Effingham area called the Renegades.
Yeah,
And it was
And
like,
we
no,
could-
that's not us.
yeah. We were actually,
We were young back then.
yeah, no great.
Kind of old now.
Uh,
Well, except for you.
we actually were having a hard
Yeah,
time
maybe
in
the number.
Effingham getting booked because the Renegade band in Effingham, they were
Kind of like the good old boys, didn't they all
Yeah.
dress
Yeah.
in the...
yes,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, they dressed in matching suits and they played old school country, which is great. I started out playing old school country
Mhm.
40 years ago.
And some friends of ours that got us into A-Bait, the state party down in Altamont, they were like, okay, well, we're going to get you guys down here and tell everybody that, okay, this is Renegade from Champaign, it's not Renegade from Effingham.
And is that why, because your Facebook says Renegade from Champaign?
Yeah.
That's, okay, so that's, because I noticed that.
Make that distinction. There's
Yeah.
another Renegade over in Indiana.
Yeah, actually, friend of ours, John Corinne, and I'm not exactly sure if that's how you pronounce his last name or not, but it's John Corinne and Renegade out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And we actually started communicating back with MySpace before Facebook.
Yes, I remember MySpace.
So yeah, and so yeah, that was kind of the reason why we did the Renegade from Champaign, Illinois.
Okay. So currently, if we can go through, if you guys can introduce yourselves and how long you've been with Renegade and what do you play?
It's going to be complicated for you.
So let's go ahead and start with Ken. Obviously, is the
He's the ringleader.
founder of this band and the lead.
Ringmaster.
Yeah,
Ringmaster
the
of
circus. Yeah, because okay, Ken Stanley, lead singer, manager and leader by default because nobody else wanted the position. So, yeah, it was like, okay, I'm gonna do everything, and
Well, you've done a fantastic job. I will say that. And 25 years is a long time, really, to play live music. So when Champaign, Urbana, well, and surrounding, I mean, everybody, when we hit that lull of that live music became kind of a little bit obsolete for a while when there was disco and DJs and all that kind of thing, what did Renegade do? Were you still playing?
we kept doing what we were doing. We've never,
Back in the day, we played a little more country
yeah,
than we do now, and we played Friday and Saturday night for
Years.
every week
Yeah.
for years.
We actually-
Lodges, Legions.
yeah.
Legions, and
Ambets.
we had a couple
Oh,
of places
yeah.
over in Decatur that were country
Yeah.
places, and Rantoul had at the time had the base was open, and they had a couple of places up there too. They had the old Softail, which was the old bowling alley
Yep.
that was open, and it was that's where we opened up for David Allen Coe.
Oh, you guys opened up for David Allen Coe?
And
Yes.
closed for
And
him.
And
Closed
close
for
one
it,
too.
He was a little.
What was that like?
Well, he was a little under the weather that night, I would say. Came in,
Yeah.
wasn't feeling well.
flu or something like that.
He had something. He was feeling poorly. Came in, did his show.
He did about 45 minutes.
45-minute show. We opened for him. I had to use the drummer's little electronic drum kit, which
The drummer was afraid of people, and he was hid behind the speakers. And so all you saw was the tip of the bass drum and a couple of the cymbals.
it was a small.
Brian was
electronic
doing
drum
this.
set. He was a small.
Wow.
He wasn't nearly my size. It didn't fit me very well. I left that night. I had a big bruise on my leg from jabbing the end of the stick in my leg. Just
Yeah.
I thought you liked that anyway.
we played the show. We played the opening set. Watched his show for a little bit. He left early. No encore or anything. Just I'm done. Left.
I'm done.
The management came and found us. Do you guys want to play some more?
We ended, up
Please?
playing, I think, playing 2.5 hours after
Yeah,
that.
I had my drums out in the van, so I just went and brought them in, set them up. We played, closed the show, and
Yeah, they had a production company there with sound and lights and everything, and
Yeah.
we opened up for about
Wow.
an hour, and then he played for 45 minutes and left, and then she was like, I got 600 people here, can you come back?
yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
a great night for David Allen Coe.
No.
We had-
But it was for you guys.
Oh, we had
Oh,
a
yeah.
great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go. So this is Brian Ball that just got done
Hi.
speaking. He's the drummer.
23 years now. I came in, the band was just getting established, playing the clubs and stuff, and Moose Lodges, Legions, that sort of thing. Very much more country.
God bless Moose Lodge.
Yes. We were hardcore country back then.
Yeah, the current drummer.
What's hardcore country mean?
Randy Travis,
Old school?
old school.
Yeah, it was a lot more old school.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had a little background in that. I had just come from another band that had just kind of fallen apart when the singer moved away, so I was looking for a gig. I'd taken a short hiatus from drumming for a while and was looking to get back into playing.
We were looking for a new drummer.
Yeah, just kind of worked out.
Perfect fit. Yeah. 23 years, did you say?
3 years.
Yeah, you've been.
A couple of times I left the band for scheduling reasons at work. I had a job that put me on a shift that wasn't conducive to me playing anymore, so I just take a little hiatus again for a while and various
So
reasons.
how do you feel about this being the last year?
It's been a long, good run.
Oh,
It's just time.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Okay. And
Hi,
your turn.
Sam Carroll, bass player, singer, back in vocals. I've been in the band 4 different times for a total of about 17 years. I've moved away twice and come back, and he drags my ass back in, and
Well, when you're good, you're good. You
I
know?
don't know about that. but-
We try to run them off. But
Yeah, and every time I come back, Brian looked like a little kid in a candy store. But
Well, when you work well, I think when you connect and really work well
bass players and
together.
drummers need to be like this. I haven't been like this with every bass player we've had. I'll say that right up front.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll never forget the first time Brian asked me to join the band. And gosh, I don't even remember. You were still at the tent company at the
Yeah.
time, and I don't even know what year that was, but
It was in the mid-90s.
yeah. And he asked me. I played in a band, in a local band before called Obsession, and I'd been out of the music scene for quite a while. I was a bartender up at Pia's, and he'd come in and he knew what I played, and he just come up and asked me one day. He says, "Hey, we're looking for a bass player. You want to go?" And you got to understand, Brian. Brian big old tall, lanky, goofy guy. And I'm going, do you play? He goes, I play drums. I'm going, you what? You play what? I said, I can't picture this. So they were playing at the Rose Bowl. No, not the Rose Bowl. It was Itis.
Itis.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Itis, and I went over there, and I was pleasantly surprised at what I heard. It was like, oh wow, these guys are pretty good. And so I joined the band, and just from that point on, I guess it's
And the transition began.
We're a lot alike in humor and
Yeah,
our
it was-
work ethic and things like that, and it was a lot of fun.
That's
Yeah,
important.
Yeah.
that was kind of when the transition went from what we were doing to what we're doing now. When,
A little heavier.
yeah, we were like, okay, well, we all have Southern rock background, influences, classic rock background influences. So why don't we do what we want to do instead of what we're doing to play?
There you
Well,
go.
Which we were all in favor for doing that, which in turn we got let go from all the dead animal clubs.
Yeah. Dead animal.
Kind of fits in with the Renegade name, we do our thing. If you like it, great. If you
Yeah,
don't,
and then the last time I was out for a couple of years, and Brian took my place because I had to move away from, and then
not this brand.
no, Brian
Dolby.
Dolby.
Dolby took my place. Great guy.
AKA bastard. I'm sorry, I just had to put that in. Dobby knows.
You know,
Smart-ass.
he knows.
We know we love him.
Yes.
Anyway, he said he was going to Kings Highway, and Ken called me. I was on vacation. Ken, hey man, can you sit in for us? He's kind of looking to do something else. I said, yeah, I'll sit in for a little bit. And about a day later, he texted me again and said, hey, you know what? We decided we're going to make this our last year. We want you to finish it out with us.
Wow.
What an honor. Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
back in the band because of that. So, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun doing it.
really, really cool. AJ?
I'm AJ, and I think it's a year and a half now. Is that how long?
Almost,
Yeah.
almost two.
Almost 2.
Yeah.
So,
You were, wait a minute. I've been doing CU Bands and Vans for almost-
This is going on the third year.
almost
Yeah.
2.5 years, and
Yeah.
weren't you playing when I,
Yes,
Yes, you were. So you almost three.
so yeah, you're on your third year now.
Yeah.
Okay.
we lose track.
We've established that for you.
I don't know what day it is.
Yeah. You've been here forever.
I thought I remember you coming around with Sugar Profits.
You were playing with Sugar Profits, weren't you? Wow, it seems like so long ago. It's
Well,
only
you
been
were-
2.5.
yeah, you were doing the sugar profits.
And I think you were up and running by the time that was going on.
2 or 3 years.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
regardless, it hadn't been it wasn't 23 years or 25. So,
It's been a few years.
but yeah, well, sure.
And how you feel about it? Like these,
Uh,
what were you
well-
doing before? Like before, and how did
The
you?
same thing I'm doing now.
Yeah, how did you like come into Renegade? How'd that happen?
Just kind of just been in this town and just know people. And
Word of mouth.
I pretty much started. It's like I knew who Renegade was. I mean, I never approached them or
At the
went
time,
to their
Jerry
gigs a
was
couple
Renegade.
times. They had some
Yeah.
Yeah.
others like Dave Lindsay. Some other. I mean, I knew some guys that were in the band. I knew who they were, and then there's kind of a mutual friend said, "Hey, look, I happen to know. Like, don't run around and talk about it, but just try to call this dude Ken and ask him if he's ready for." And so I think there's a hubbub of about 3 or 4 guys kind of run around time, and they just all got fired, and I didn't. Yet.
Now we like it. We'll keep you.
So, there.
Yeah, you really. I mean, I don't know too many of the members prior to all of you guys because you guys were really the base since I started doing this, and you guys, you've got a great connection. You really do. You really have a great flow together, a really good connection. It shows when people show up at your shows that you've got this flow going and you can work off of one another. I don't know if you guys viewed the video that I did of you
Oh yeah.
at Boomerangs, but you could just tell you guys you mesh. It's a good
Well,
flow.
I
I guess I have to get online.
And then we have Tom over here.
Yeah.
So
I would like to say one quick thing about that before we introduce Tom, but I think just because we've been doing it for so long and we're older, We don't have that rock star.
All right, I got a soul out and
Yeah, I've got to do this, and it's more about doing your part.
To look this way.
Yeah,
I agree totally.
yeah, you have to do your part, and in any successful band, each member has to do their part. I can't be the lead player. I can't be the drummer. I have to be the bass player.
23 years in this band. I've been gigging for 40 years actually.
Wow.
And started when I was 14 in my dad's country band, playing old traditional country. Did that for quite some time. Played with various other bands through the years. I'm not trying to be a rock star. I just want to play my drums.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I've heard a bunch of times like, hey, we're supposed to be having fun. If you're not having fun, then you probably don't need to be here.
Yeah.
A
And
professional
that's the thing.
level of fun.
Right.
We're not paying our house note on this stuff, you know.
Right.
Well,
No,
see,
we don't do it
that's,
for a living.
again, that falls back on the work ethic, and I think everybody has the same work ethic. Show up on time. Show up when in rehearsal. We learn our own parts, and then we put it together at rehearsal. And, then,
Yeah.
and everybody's got that same work ethic.
You've got a commitment to one another,
Oh, yeah.
and,
That's always been
an
we had
obligation
players-
and a responsibility,
We had
and
players who didn't find our time as important as theirs, you know, at
Yeah.
times, and would just not show up to rehearsal or whatever.
yeah,
You notice they're not.
that just doesn't work.
No.
That doesn't
Did
work.
you show up today?
Yeah. There's no,
I showed up
no
like
room for
really
rock
late.
star syndrome in it.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing that I kind of like about the way Ken runs the band. He runs it like a business. You know, if you're not cutting it, we're going to let you go.
And that is probably one of several reasons why Renegade has been around so long and lasted so long and made the impact that it's made on this community and the surrounding communities. And you guys have done, you do fundraisers and benefits and, so you do a great community service as well. I think you mentioned being older it does make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Because you're proud of your abilities, your skills. You're old enough and mature enough to know that you have those, and you don't have to get out there and display them or show them. People come to you. You have a following that you've.
I don't see it as a competition. I mean, there are great drummers in this town. There are a lot of great musicians in this town.
Absolutely.
I'm not as good as some of those drummers. I know that. I don't care. I
Yeah.
do what I do. I play the way I play. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I just want to play my drums, as I said.
Yeah, if you're younger, I think you jockey for position a lot of times.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I went through that phase decades ago.
You'd be hard pressed to be best in this town. There's a lot of
Yeah, and,
you might as well just hang it up.
AJ, that is very well said.
Yeah.
And as I've seen a lot of music, and I've been, as a matter of fact, people send me originals and they send me, their songs and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm completely blown away at this music scene here in Champaign-Urbana. That,
Really brilliant talent.
yeah,
Quite a history around here.
Yeah.
You want to see somebody that puts videos on.
Yeah. Tall.
yeah, I'm hearing this, Tom. So let's talk about you a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm Tom Cortese. I'm the keyboard player, and I'm in
Sounds
charge
like
of.
your last name.
Cortese.
I'm named America with Italian
What's your name
parts.
again?
And I'm the newest member of the band. I've only been. It hasn't even been a year yet. I don't think, has it?
No.
No, it's close.
Less
Came in while I was out with.
Right, because Brian had surgery, and I was actually Brendan Gamble was playing drums when I first jumped in, and
Great
Brian
guy.
Dalby. So I've seen two of the original members come back in my short tenure, and I found out about the band by Bob Watson. He told me that he knew I was a piano player, and I was looking for a gig. I was out of town for several years. I was in town here for many years, and then I moved away for a job and came back. And he said that there was this note on the wall, keyboard player wanted, and a phone number. And I didn't know it was Renegade. I called it up, and
Wouldn't have called if you knew.
and I went down to see him at Tuscola, and it sounded really good. It's like, yeah, I'd like to join these guys. They seem pretty professional, and none of that little stuff between songs. It's always like end a song, start a new one, very clean, very smooth. Not like, well, what are we gonna do next? The noodling.
Yeah, because I will just say something right here is like I have been here while they were doing practice before we started this interview, and these guys are just like boom, 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 boom. They're just right on it. I mean, you guys are right on it. There's no,
Well, that's
wondering what are we gonna do next, and
that's how we in 25 years. That's how you evolve to be a decent band. Is you go out and you look at our bands and other bands. They play a song and then they noodle around or they do something and it takes 2 or 3 minutes to get into another song. And so,
Yeah.
one of the things
That's what amazing impressed me.
one of the things that we actually said, hey, look, there for a long time we would play 4 or 5 songs straight in a row. Let's kick it 1, 2, 3, let's go. And then we talk between songs, hey, welcome or whatever. And it just made it more professional.
Yeah.
Look at the crowd, not your feet. You know?
Yeah. You know, so I think that's what keeps me coming back is I've been in a lot of bands and it's just a professional atmosphere.
Yeah.
Even though we have a lot of fun and
Oh, yeah.
And I would echo the same thing. I mean, I've been in other bands where people get together for rehearsal and you start out with a 24-pack of beer and then you start noodling around and this and that. And after 2 hours goes by, you've practiced 2 songs. And I really like the way with Renegade, it's like, okay, we all know what songs we're going to work on next week or whatever.
And you'll
Get our parts done at home and come in. And most of the time, we all know at least sort of what we're doing. We have to practice together to get it all to mesh. But
Yeah.
we're not sitting around like, well, gee, what am I supposed to play in this song?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all-
right.
Everyone cares, you know, wants it to sound good, and everyone does their homework, and then
We communicate through the week. We'll get a set of songs.
it's very, very
This
professional.
song here we're going to do this week, maybe 3 or 4 songs. We'll have copies of it. I have a
Except
little
recently,
studio.
where it was like 77 songs we're supposed to do, about 20 minutes. You know?
I've got a little drum studio at home. I go upstairs and I'll practice on my electronic kit, learn my parts, best I can anyway, and we'll come in here and throw it all together. And
well, I think every song gets a life of its own and we put it together similar to whatever we hear on the record, and then when we get out and play, it becomes a life of its own and we change it a little bit just because we play it live.
or because we forgot how we learned it.
Right.
Yeah, you know, that happens.
Tear them apart, put it back together, and
Yeah.
make it our own.
Yeah.
I'm probably the most, I don't want to use the word guilty, but I'm probably the one that describes most accurately, because a lot of these songs don't necessarily have pianos in them. So a lot of times what I do is I have to make up something that kind of goes along with, fits in. And if I were to ask, or someone were to ask me what I feel most proud of in my musical ability with a band, it's not, you know, great solos. I'm not the greatest solo player and whatnot. But I really like filling in the cracks. I like, okay, he sings for a couple seconds and there's a couple second break, I'll do and I like to round out the sound, not necessarily be the front man and hogging all the attention. But
Yeah,
I
that's
like
kind of
to-
awesome. Yeah.
I like to fill in
yeah.
the background and kind of fill out the sound, and that's where I feel my
Well,
voice is.
He makes the rest of us look better. That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
nice.
Well, I mean, when we first auditioned Tom, it was like, I mean, we played the opening to Skidder's Tuesday's Gone, which has a keyboard. And I don't even think we got past the half of the first part. It was like, okay, you're hired.
Wow, I didn't know it was that quick.
Yeah, it was pretty much that quick.
It was interesting. I was gone. I was out getting my new bionic knee installed. And they had gotten...
Oh, so when you came back, it was.
Well, they had gotten Brendan Gamble up to speed to replace me while I was gone for 2 months, whatever it was. And during that time is when Tom came.
I think that's one of the reasons they asked me to come in, is because we're already getting Brendan up to speed.
Right.
So if you're going to introduce a new member of the band, you might as well do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So about the time he got up to speed, I came back, and he had to get used to me, which you probably never know.
Oh, you're great. I don't have any trouble with there.
Well, I remember the first time I heard Tom play and the hair on the back of my neck stood up because we've been looking for a keyboard player for years.
Yeah.
And we want a keyboard player and we could never find anybody that would play it. And when I heard him and it just,
Oh, well, thanks, man.
I mean, he's on the top of his game, I think. I mean,
Yes,
he's
he
a
is.
solid musician.
Not
And
Billy
it just-
Powell, but close.
But it really impressed me, you know. It was like, holy crap, this guy can play, you know. And it's a lot of fun when you have a band that has solid musicians in each spot.
Makes the band fairly low maintenance too when the band's up and running.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, and you all have like full-time jobs, I assume, and then plus you do this, and I'm sure, you know, some of you have children and wives and all of that, or.
I'm living like it.
The cute sheep out in the farm.
Yeah, no.
So-
It's good that we go on vacation because I get my AARP discount. She gets kids stay for free. So it's
I think this is somewhat on the brink of the conversation you and I had when I first met you. So, so how do you all feel though about this coming the rest of this year? Like you have gigs coming up. Are you pretty much booked the rest of this year?
Yeah, for the first 6 months, yeah.
I know at Goldie's you're having a
Somebody's out riding.
yeah, somebody's out riding. It was a beautiful day out.
Yeah, it's all
At Goldie's, you're going to be playing at Goldie's, but you're also going to have some reunion. Band members from 2001 play a set.
Yeah, we're actually going to have Tim Breen, Mike Grants, and Mike Miller, which was the 2000-2001 period, and which, of course, people who know Mike Miller, Boat Drunks, and what he does on the side. Actually, I think he has something with Brendan that they do.
I actually played in the Boat Drunks with Mike for a while.
Yep.
While doing this band.
That's a great
Really?
name.
Balancing schedules and whatnot.
So we're gonna, I communicated with all of them and asked them, if they'd be interested in doing it. It was like, okay, yeah, when? So.
Yeah, and when is the day? March 14th?
March 14th, I believe.
Yeah, at Goldie's.
And pretty much what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the first set with the, I guess, reunion, and then, then we'll continue on with the current.
With the,
lineup.
current. So, in the future,
Mhm.
after you wrap this up, are you going to have like a big wrap up, this is it, like this year? I mean, when you finish up this year, is your last show going to be?
Last show is actually going to be New Year's Eve at Boomerang,
Oh wow,
and
that's good to know.
we actually I think it's the first weekend of August. We're actually doing a show down in Sedoris with Matt Poss Band from Effingham.
That's awesome.
And,
Great band.
yeah.
Yeah, Matt
Looking
Poss
forward
is
to that.
one
It's gonna
of,
be
yeah, they're definitely one of the best in Champaign-Urbana, and
Yeah, we've done a couple shows with
With them, yeah.
Blackberry Smoke.
We opened up for Blackberry's, well, we featured for Blackberry Smoke. They opened up.
Yeah.
And
Brantley
then
Gilbert show.
The Brantley Gilbert show. They featured and we opened up. And
Yeah.
then, but they're the same ilk as what we are. I mean,
Great bunch of guys.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good musicians, guys that like to have fun. They don't take themselves seriously. Serious in the sense that they want to put out a good product, but they're just a lot of fun guys to hang around with too.
yeah. So what was that Blackberry Smoke? Was that this past summer?
That's been
That was
pretty
about 3 years
That's
ago.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago down in Effingham.
Yeah.
We were doing a Legacy Harley Davidson. They had a big Harley bash or something,
Yeah.
birthday bash, and it
Got
ended
rained
up
out.
getting rained out. And we went to the Effingham Performance Center, which seats about 1,000 people.
Yes.
great
And
fun.
Oh,
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So what is the largest crowd that you've played for?
It would have been Hog Rock
3 years ago.
3 years ago in June. We played for 10,000 people
Where was that at?
down in Southern Illinois. Down,
Shawnee National Forest area.
Cave in Rock.
yeah.
Oh, Cave and Rock, yeah.
It was probably
10,000 people.
We had a prime spot though.
oh yeah, 90 minutes on the main stage.
Yeah, it was like 8 to 9:30.
Yeah.
Just on a Saturday night.
Started right at dusk.
Friday.
Sorry, I
Friday
missed that
night.
one. That sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were fire dancers
Were you
on
part of
stage with us. It was
I went to
Yeah.
a gig, but it was a
Great
couple years
crowd.
after that.
Yeah, it was probably the
But it
fastest
wasn't-
90 minutes of our life.
Yeah, it was.
So
awesome.
what did that feel like? I mean, I mean, 10,000 people is a lot of people. You can't, I mean, you look out there and it's just
Well,
waves of,
It is, but we play
couldn't see
Southern
it
Rock.
all.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we were drunk. Anyway, in a 90-minute set, we put all what we consider our best songs together, and a lot of those
Yeah.
are Southern Rock songs, and we play for bikers, and
Yeah.
bikers
Yeah, they-
love Southern Rock.
Yeah, there was probably, I mean, it was a huge stage. It had a
The runway.
runway on the front, which, I took off and went out there, and I mean, it's like certain, we were doing like Sweet Home Alabama, stuff like, and when you can hear a crowd singing back to you, that's wild.
that had to have been,
It was
An incredible moment.
Probably the best played gig we've ever had, because you get that energy back, and you're having a lot of fun, but you seem to just focus on what you're doing.
Yeah, we heard well. I mean, the sound system was great. The speaker monitor behind me was about the size of a refrigerator, so I felt myself playing, not just heard my bass drum. I could feel it behind me. So
Yeah,
it was
and the smoke machine.
and smoke.
That's
Important.
okay. And this, what was like, you know, so what was the lowest or the least amount of people
we
that
don't have
you've?
enough time for that. We don't have.
You mean this week?
Yeah. You want this week or you want this? You know.
Actually, I think it was probably one of the last shows we played at the, was it the Legion over on Livingston Road?
Oh, gee, we had like 4
We were
people
doing Sweet
there.
Home Alabama and
Playing to an empty room. That's right.
playing to an empty.
And that happens. But when was that?
That
Oh,
was
that's
a long time ago. That was right, pretty much when Brian and Sam.
We basically played to our wives.
Yeah.
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 Thank God for your wives and girlfriends.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
that-
I couldn't
yeah.
be doing this if I didn't have her support.
Yeah, that's hugely important, and I did talk a little bit about that. I was lucky enough that Peggy, I pressed her enough to let her, that she would do that Q&A and noteworthy.
I just want you to know that I've known Peggy longer than Kim has.
Yeah.
Because she used to follow Obsession around. And I got to know her through that.
Did you play an Obsession or something?
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually kind of a running thing for a while when we first.
When I first got back, I said, she would give me crap, and I go, I know what you've done. You shut up. You shut up.
Yeah, because Sam's thing was, well, back when I was in Obsession, that it just kind of became.
And then this one
Yeah,
time at
Joe.
band camp.
How'd you do it back
Became
in
an
the session?
obsession after that.
They were a great band too, by the way.
Yeah.
They're
No.
good musicians in that band.
That's the time I was out of town. I missed that. So.
Yeah. No, Peg, she, sometimes, and she hates it when I say it, but she's more of the band than we are. I mean, she takes the photos and.
She does a lot, in my opinion, does a lot of the driving
Oh, yeah.
of
Yeah.
songs and things like that.
Yeah, when I get.
And she hands out the money.
Yeah.
Which is very,
Very important.
that's very important.
Yeah, I really appreciated her being a part of that written interview. I tried really hard to talk her into doing this, but I couldn't do it.
No.
She is definitely a background support person in the truest sense of the word.
Yeah.
And I've met her, of course, at you guys' show, and I noticed she takes photos and she's supportive, and I see her post on Facebook and just the encouragement. So having wives or girlfriends, or if you're single and you don't have, good for you, that works too. But when you are in a relationship, it's so hugely important that person supports what you're doing, because
Oh, yeah.
obviously you're musicians, you love playing music,
Yeah.
and that cannot be taken out of you.
No, you're never going to change a musician.
Ever.
Don't try.
Ever. And that's a really, really good point, because it's not going to happen.
Right.
So if you choose to see a musician, then you
You're
either
seeing
need to
a
be
musician.
Part of
yeah,
the game. It's part of the package.
yeah.
Well, actually, one of the guitar players we had, I'm not going to mention his name, but comment he made was, and actually he was talking to Peg at the time, the comment that he made was, the music draws the women to you, and it also backs them away from you.
Yeah, it's the reason that they're drawn to you, and then that's the reason that they that they leave.
At which point they just become tolerant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to bounce off something you said, Brian, I've seen a few cases where there's a man playing the guitar, and then a woman finds him really attractive, and then they start going out, and then all of a sudden she doesn't want him to play anymore because he's getting the
Right,
attention
right.
of all these other women. So she's thinking, well, I'll give
You
you
have that problem, don't you?
Now I'll change him.
I wish I was
You can't change the musician. It's part of the.
I wish I was you.
Listen, it's part of entertainment, period. The women are gonna do that when there's a live band playing and it's males. When there's females that are musicians, it's the same way with the men. I mean, they're drawn to that. They think that's hot or whatever because she's able to play this music. But it's the same thing that does. You can't be weak. If you're weak, you should not even
You're
date
on board.
musicians.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah, so Peggy has been a very tremendous, and obviously you guys You too?
Very much.
Brian's,
Very
your
much
wives are,
supportive
yeah.
And tolerant.
Oh, yeah.
Long nights away, you know, we get home at 4 in the morning sometimes, and
Mhm.
she doesn't always go with us because she's been there, done that, you know, for them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get home at 4 in the morning, but yet they're at odds at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Having a breakfast at odds.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but that was just something I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit, and that's why I really asked Peggy, because, you know, I'm out there a lot in the scene, and I see several bands and different flow of crowds, because it depends. I know when I go to see whichever band, who's going to be there, basically,
Right.
as far as fans.
Yeah, everybody has their own sense of
Yeah,
fans.
they have their following, and then you meet new people and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we've been very lucky and fortunate
Yeah.
to have the following that we have.
Very good following.
Which have become like family.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
friends and
yeah,
family
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah. And they would, and I began to do fan features on the page because just watching fans for a while, as much as I've watched musicians and bands, I'm really impressed with their dedication and how they fall in love with the band for whatever reason. It's the music, it's the band members, it's the atmosphere, it's where they're going, the whole thing. Type of music mostly, I think, is most important. But they will be there.
Oh, yeah.
They're faithful. They're consistent. They're, you know, they pay that cover charge and they're there. So Renegade is very good. Again, I've seen a lot of bands and watched the interaction that you guys have. When I show up at a gig, I'm not only there to take photos. I'm also watching the band's stage presence, their interaction with their fans and followers, how the fans and the people that are there, the crowd responds to the band, the kind of music that you play, and how well you play it. That being said, you know, you guys have got some really great followers, and you have had for...
Well, I think because of the relationships we have on stage, or just the relationships we have fun doing it, and, you know, we laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Even on stage, and you were at the last job we played Blackberry Smoke song that we didn't sync up too well. Like, okay, cut, restart, we
Yeah.
stop, let's restart it.
Yeah, up and spoke.
That's
Yeah.
the only time that's ever happened since I've
I have
been
a little
Yeah.
trouble hearing, I dropped the beat. It happens.
And it happens that it's one of those deals where the crowd doesn't care because we're up there having fun and we're just trying to project
we're
that
human,
to
you
them.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're trying to project that to them. And if we're having fun, they're gonna eventually have fun.
I
Yeah.
fully expected to get ribbed that night, but I really didn't. You guys
Mhm.
you owe me.
No, I mean, it was like, I'm
You
trying
didn't
to
throw your drumsticks
sing,
at me that
yeah.
night, so that was.
I'm trying to sing the song, and it's like, okay, what I'm hearing is going nowhere but out.
It's
front
like clicking
nowhere.
the same song 2 seconds apart and it's
Yeah.
doing this.
So,
But it's
yeah.
having fun up on stage projects out in the crowd. And,
Oh, yeah.
and if you're bickering on stage or you're not organized, then people are gonna go, yeah, this is not
Yeah.
what I signed up for.
And we've had that
Oh, yeah.
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 at some point in time.
Have you? Like,
No.
have you ever had that where
Not
somebody
actually.
blew up and walked out and said that we're done tonight,
yes,
I'm
yeah.
leaving?
We've had people
Yeah.
leave in the middle of the gig for whatever reason.
Or
I
right
got
after-
tired of them, I just got up and left.
I was tired, I was hungry, I had to have a candy bar.
Yeah, so,
But I think that's why the people, like you said, same crowd comes and sees us. And part of it is, hey, I know the guys in the band.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know, you say, hey, I've heard of this band, I know them. You know, I ride with Ken, or I'm, you know, whatever it might be.
When there's tension between band members, people know it. you know.
Right.
It doesn't take them long to pick up on that sort of thing.
Yeah, if there's issues going on, it's not just on the stage, everybody out front knows,
Right.
because the chemistry is
A lot of
off.
eye
You can
rolling
tell.
Going on, a lot of
Right, the
handshake.
truth is the truth is the truth, and you're not gonna hide it from
Yeah.
the stage, you know,
Yeah.
with all those lights on you.
Yeah, somebody giving me the stink eye from across.
but that's what makes you guys real, and, you know, your relationship with each other real, and, you know, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. I do like you guys' rapport that you have with one another and the connection and that kind of thing. And so you've had a really long, successful run. Had you ever thought about doing originals?
There have been originals a couple of times.
Yeah,
Different members leave the band, take the song with them. or
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah, actually, Mike Miller wrote a song called Renegade. And we played it. We played it for quite a while, actually, the duration that he was in the band. And unfortunately, that song was never put on tape or CD.
I was
It's on
just
his
gonna
solo
say,
CD,
can I?
actually. It's on his solo CD. I'm playing on it too. Tim
And
and Mike B.
Ooh,
so it's like,
you're a recording artist.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be heard on
Throw him
Mike's
out.
CD.
I'll throw it.
Okay.
Go
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, he did record.
I'll get a hold of him about that.
We as a band didn't record it. It was recorded later.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With former members of the band.
It was actually a pretty cool song too.
Yeah.
I want to hear it
We
now.
will probably learn that when we rehearse to do the.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have
I
certainly.
got the lyrics somewhere. That would help. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really appreciate you guys letting me come in here during your practice, and I was
appreciate what
late
you
today.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
late.
impressed by the number of bands that you go out and see. It seems like every night I'm here watching this band. It's like,
Mhm.
that you must have a lot of energy. That's just amazing.
You do have a.
That's very
Well,
impressive.
that's because I have a lot of energy because when I can be really dog tired, but when I show up at a gig, when I like Boomerangs that night, I can't even tell you how exhausted I was. But when I walked in that door and heard that music, it just,
Oh, cool.
yeah, that just energizes me, and just, you know, so, and I love photography, and so I love covering the music scene. So that's what drives me, I guess, now.
Well, it's kind of impressive because you haven't been doing it very long, have you? A couple of years?
2 years.
Yeah, and I was just mentioning to my girlfriend that I'm like, she's turned this into something.
Yeah.
The CU bands and fans,
Yeah.
you've turned it into something.
Well,
It takes a lot of hard work. When I was impressed
Yeah.
with that too.
You've given the music scene in Champaign-Urbana.
A voice.
Big
voice.
shot in the arm. Big shot in the arm.
Yeah. I mean, you've brought notoriety to what is going on in this town.
Well, thank you guys. You just made me cry. So,
Seriously, it's pretty impressive.
Throw her a towel or something.
I appreciate it. It's something that just like it just happened, and I'm rolling with it.
And that's what
I'm
makes most-
driven by it now, and I'm rolling with it.
That's
and
why how you get successful is because you're like, I'll just do this for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it turns into something, and you did it. So-
Yeah, I just can't let. There's a lot of bands. The live local music scene is crazy right now. It's increased, and the gigs that are like our event list. Y'all see it. It's
Oh,
like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
That's an accomplishment putting that together on a weekly basis.
That, and I will give credit to that. I began doing that, but then I got hurt, and I had to kick back for about 2 or 3 months. So I asked Zach, would he do that, and he was like, gladly. And I let him keep doing it because he does a tremendous job. It takes a lot of work to put that together, and he does it. And then on Wednesdays he does a preliminary weekend event schedule, and we post that on Wednesday because people ask us through the week, hey, what's going on Friday and Saturday night? Where is,
When we played Boomerang, you talk about musicians in Champaign-Urbana. I looked at where some of the musicians were playing close to us and going, man, I hope we get a crowd. Because there are so many good musicians playing close.
This is one of the reasons that musicians check the event list out, is to see who is around them and who's playing also that night. And if I have any advice at all for sometimes some of the establishments and sometimes the bands, it's like, if there's a huge event going on, let's say like Red Hot Summer or Phases of the Moon or one of those events that really is going to draw the majority of the people that night, because people they only have so much money, really. And they're gonna, they began to strategize a little bit.
Right.
It's like, that's why they look at the event. Like, should I go out Friday night or should I go out Saturday night? Because a lot of them cannot go out both nights.
Right, yeah.
We
And
understand that.
they're not like me, where my cover is taken care of and all that kind of stuff, because I'm documenting it and promoting it. So, but that being said, the music scene is very alive and well, and it takes a great deal of energy to keep up with all you guys. It really does. So I appreciate your support, and I certainly appreciate the music that you brought all these years,
Thank you.
and we're really gonna miss you. So I hope the rest of this year we'll be able to, either Zach or I will be able to cover and finish out your year and document it, and
It's
yeah.
gonna be fun.
It's been a busy year.
Yeah, it will be a busy year.
Okay, do you have anything to say in closing?
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah.
I'm hungry.
Time for chicken.
Thanks, thank you guys.
You're welcome.